Hello, Internet.
You took
Welcome.
the pictures off the video.
I did. I did a very ad hoc edit and removed the pictures, and we can put them back in when we have better pictures.
Thank you for doing that.
That's quite all right. Hello, and yes, welcome to what I thought was episode 5, but apparently is episode 6 of our slightly ad hoc. Let's see what Claude Code is and what it does and how it works. And
fly when you're having fun.
Why is it important, and what do we need to know about it, and all of the other things. And so we'll get back to the coding in a moment. Those of you who have taken a bit of time to catch up on part 5, or who caught it live on Friday, we got to what I think is a quite interesting inflection point, is what mathematicians call it, and some of them spell it with an X, which looks really cool. Because after you dropped off on Friday, so we've got this point where Claude has written the specs, and then Claude has implemented the specs. And one of the things that it has done, what appears to be quite a good job of, is going, there's stuff in here I can't test because I'm just a bot and I can't actually click stuff and run programs. And yes, I know there are ways, but we're not getting into that now. And so it gives the human a little script, and it says, you need to verify this, this, and this before we move on to the next phase. And one of the things that it said I needed to verify is that if you load a project and then delete one of the video files and then click play, it just gives you a blank screen for that output instead of crashing. And it said, yeah, it's done. And I ran it, and it was not done. And so I said, it's not done. And it went, oh, I'm sorry, let me fix that. And it added some code. And I did it again, and then did it again, and it's not done. And it got into, I've worked with a lot of different developers and engineers over the course of my career. And I have absolutely, not going to name any names, of course, because I think all of us have probably been there at some point when you hate the client and you're tired and they just won't piss off. But I've certainly worked with people who are like, there's a bug here. And they're like, oh, I'll fix it. And they're like, it's fixed. And I'm like, it's not fixed. Fix it. And they're like, oh, it's fixed now. And you test it again. And you're like, it's not fixed. And sometimes it comes down to a misunderstanding about the scope. Yeah. And sometimes it comes down to like an environmental issue, or there's I've seen this with missing DLLs on some machines that we didn't even know were necessary. But one person who'd installed the VB6 runtime, it would work on their machine, but it wouldn't work on anyone else's. But I've also seen it with developers who just didn't give a shit about fixing it, and they just wanted the boss to go away. Yes. And the overwhelming theme that I am sort of seeing come through in a lot of the there is an enormous spectrum of perspectives on this, and one of the things I'm trying very hard to bear in mind is I know and follow a lot of people who are on the bleeding edge, because that's where they want to be. They are incredibly vocal about it, and they have quite a wide audience. And so if you judge the state of the industry by what, people like David Whitney and Rob Connery are writing online, you're like, oh, yeah, AI has actually replaced everybody, and we need to get aboard the last chopper out of Saigon, or we're all going to die. But, for every one of those, there are probably 1 million developers out there who are going back to work today and writing .NET Framework or Java 12 or something that clearly is not going to last forever. But also, it is there are a lot more reasons than just it makes the code faster why those organizations are not going to be able to just replace everybody with Claude overnight. And absolutely. Yeah.
I have a technical interview tomorrow, which includes live coding test over Zoom. Yep. And the sort of email saying, here's the booking thing, says, please uninstall or disable any AI coding assistance from the editor you're going to be using. And I've gone into Rider and gone disable the JetBrains have 2 AI assistants at the moment as well. There's JetBrains AI assistant, and there's also Junie. and they're both disabled anyway because I've been using proxy AI with my Claude account.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't spent a lot of time in Wine recently because I use Z when I'm just reviewing Claude's done. But no, it's like, and this is a company where they are on board with the use of AI, and there's AI in their product. Really, actually positive, helpful, useful ways that help you be like financially responsible and things. But yeah, they don't want to see. It's like when I get there, they'll be kind of going, okay, we use this. Please be Claude. Please be Claude. As our coding assistant. But when they're interviewing you, they don't want to know that you can use a coding assistant. They want to know that you can check what the coding assistant has done and get in and debug the code. And if there's a day like yesterday, Claude was down for a long time yesterday.
Should we just have a look at Claude's status?
Yeah, do it.
So this is, let me share the thing here. So so this is Claude's status. What's today? March 3rd.
Yeah, so this is current.
So today there has been an issue from 7 a.m. UTC. So that's 7 a.m. UK time. So Claude
specifically on Opus.
I've been using Claude Opus found an issue at 7 a.m. identified it at 8:30, fixed it at 10:30, found out at 12 o'clock they hadn't in fact fixed it. Continued to work on a fix at 1 o'clock. They've just fixed it again, but they fixed it at 10:30 and that one didn't work. So we can probably determine live on stream whether the fix is the right fix or not. And this is their, day-to-day. Now that's 99.2% uptime.
That's pretty good.
Is pretty good. I certainly would. I wouldn't say struggle, but if I told you how much it would cost to give you 99.2% uptime, most customers would be like, "What can we get for about a tenth of that?"
Yes, so it's like 99.2% uptime is kind of, it's as long as it's not sort of your life support machine.
Yeah.
Your sort of iron lung.
People talking nines. 99.2% means that you can switch it off for 3 days a year. So you're allowed 3 days every year of downtime and scheduled maintenance and everything. 99.9% uptime means that you are allowed 6 hours a year, 7 hours a year. 99.99, you're allowed about 1 hour a year, and 99.9959s, you get about 3 minutes if you're lucky. And 4 nines, that 4 nines just means you're lying, because you haven't actually had a company for long enough to be able to claim those sorts of numbers. Anything's 99% uptime if you re-baseline it at any point in time. It's like those people who gave up smoking every morning so they could say they were non-smokers until they went to the pub. So, but yeah, Claude has been wobbling a little bit. I am aware that there is a lot of there's another round of shit going on in the world, and there is some overlap with things about AI. We're not going to get into that.
We have a sign.
Talk about it in the comments.
Do not make Dylan tap the sign.
This is not that show, and if put it this way, if either of us,
so I'm going to be possibly in the next couple of days, more likely next week, starting some new podcast / live stream things of my own, talking to various people about how they use AI. We won't be discussing politics on that one either. There's people who like doing that.
It's not that we don't know.
YouTube headlines.
It's not that we don't know, and it's not that we don't care. It's that that's not what we are here to do today.
Exactly.
There are more knowledgeable people about those things who have their own channels, and you are welcome to go and leave comments on theirs.
Yes.
Now, there's another thing that I want to pick up. This is about every couple of days at the moment. I dig up an article from someone sends me an article from somewhere that I think has an interesting perspective on it. Now, ironically, Rob Connery, who is it's fixed. Rob Connery has been very, very vocal about how he's having amazing results from using agentic AIs in all kinds of ways. And Rob is a dear friend and a very, very smart guy, and one of the people who has helped to get everything to where it is in terms of the .NET ecosystem and everything.
Yes.
And he did his thing. Yeah. So it looks like there's an issue on some of his stuff at the moment. I'm very curious to know whether that's because it's probably just DNS, or it's probably just like a CDN somewhere. And Rob's in Hawaii, so he's probably still asleep and has no idea. But the article that was interesting to me, the line that jumped out was this one, I think. This line here. And I think that this single quote cuts very much to the heart of a lot of the emotional impact of the changes that are happening around the industry at the moment. Is we have, well, I have, and I'm led to believe a lot of other people have, we have spent decades laboring under the misapprehension that code quality is really important, because the biggest cost of having code in your organization is the cost of maintenance and the ability of you to bring new developers onto that team for them to become productive. You add someone new to your team, how many days is it before they can be picking up tickets and solving bugs and actually shipping stuff to production? And
it's like the craft of code.
Yes. And over, literally decades of this stuff, there have been some consistent... You're right. That sounds like a small animal is interfering with your audio equipment.
My phone is pinging with notifications that say, congrats on completing this LinkedIn game, wait 18 hours for the next one. And it's kind of like, why is that an audible notification on my phone? I know I completed Pinpoint. I did it in one today. Ha ha. But yes.
The Guardian Prize crossword took me about 45 minutes on Sunday. So I want to know where the leaderboard is for that. So
Pinpoint took me like 8 seconds.
Yeah, but you've solved Pinpoint.
Anyway.
You know what I did in the 8 seconds that you were solving Pinpoint?
Well, I don't know.
I Claude coded an agentic nebula of distributed agents that's going to... I don't know yet. I don't have any good ideas at the moment.
I was thinking when we were I was not complaining on Blue Sky about people watching on your channels and not watching on my channels. We should start beef like like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackson. We should manufacture beef and just Anyway, sorry.
I wouldn't be good at that. I can't even smack talk over a pool table in a pub after drunk.
We would suck at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm too nice because it's a defense mechanism. Because if I stop being nice, I think I could probably do horrible things to people's brains.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Anyway, Rob doesn't care about code quality.
Code quality, and I think this is something that a lot of people have concluded that the code that they are now using to do stuff will never be read by a human. That is not like that. It doesn't matter. The quality of the code, Claude will maintain, or some successor to Claude. AI will write it. AI will maintain it. AI will fix it, and so it doesn't matter. And all this stuff that we have spent decades, almost like having a sort of consensus that we can't agree what good code looks like, but there is always the consensus that high quality software tends to have good code. And that confusing code, poorly named variables, inconsistent naming, these things are they're the things that make you go, uh-oh, when you get given a unfamiliar code base and told that there is a problem in it that you are going to have to figure out. And yeah, I think this is, time will tell whether this is valid or not. And I'm sure that there are certain code bases out there that it doesn't matter anymore because they will never be seen by a human, because whatever goes wrong with them, the machine learning tools will be able to diagnose and remedy it. I suspect that there are code bases out there that are absolutely going to end up with a human going, what the hell?
At the risk of spoilers for my talk on Saturday, the predictions for all this sort of stuff is that all the programming languages and all the processors and all the runtimes and all this sort of stuff is apparently just going to converge on WebAssembly.
Yeah.
Because we can use WebAssembly instead of Kubernetes containers and Docker images, and we can use WebAssembly instead of JavaScript and all this sort of thing. And WebAssembly has a text format.
I know.
For which the file extension is literally WAT, which
yes.
I think is brilliant.
Yes.
Based on Gary Thingamy's
Gary Bernhardt's Destroy All Software.
Destroy All Software JavaScript WAT talk. And yeah, so once you get sort of modules and all this sort of thing, there'll just be an NPM but for WebAssembly, and it will just be a matter of getting these components and plugging them together with other components and setting data values and doing some logic and all this sort of thing. And so yes, the entirety of the software industry will be WebAssembly generated, like by the raw WebAssembly or possibly WAT, generated by AI.
Yeah.
And we won't understand what any of it's doing, because it will look like decompiled IL or LL, whatever the thing is, LLVM bytecode.
Yeah.
And it won't matter, because we'll go, does it do this? And it'll do it, and we'll go, yeah, all right, good enough. And we're done.
Yeah. Well, the big question there is, all right, so let's fast forward to the point where your entire company, whatever it is that you do that makes number go up and keeps people fed and whatever, is bytecode. It's WebAssembly bytecode that no human being has ever written or read. And Claude goes down. Or the people who make Claude are like, you know what? We don't have enough yachts. Like, sorry, gonna have to put the prices up a little bit. And that's when the stuff is,
we are we're a handful of years away from having a machine, basically from having a Mac Mini that you can just have in your house that's consuming less than 50 watts of power when it's going full pelt. That can run GPT 5.2 or Opus 4.6 or Opus 5. The M5s are rolling out. There's going to be an M5 Ultra. It's probably going to have a terabyte of RAM.
This is the £15,000 computer.
And that's a £15,000 computer. But then the way the tech industry goes is a £15,000 computer in 5 years will be a phone. Well, no, in 5 years it'll be a £2,000 computer, and in 10 years it'll be a phone. And and just like I said, I've been updating my futurology talk, but add into all of this sort of stuff 3D printing and that kind of automated manufacturing, and various other things, and the Star Trek post-scarcity thing is actually starting to look achievable, if not realistic, if not,
I have never,
optimistic.
Without wanting to tap the sign, I have never believed that the obstacles to a post-scarcity utopia are technological. They are politicians and capitalists and...
I mean, it's, yes, politicians and capitalists, but I mean, okay, this is entirely... this is my last. And then we'll talk about how Claude lied to you. I promise. Everyone's still here though, so yes. No, it's the problem with communism is greed. People want more. People want like 85-inch OLED televisions and McLaren cars and motorbikes and to go skydiving at the weekend and whatever else people want. And so and scarcity. That's why it's kind of post-scarcity rather than luxury communism.
You know what I think we should do? You know that TV show Extreme Hoarders, where they take seriously mentally ill people and turn them into entertainment by going into their house and going, okay, so you've got 4,715 old newspapers piled on top of 8 VCRs, piled on top of what we think might once have been an aquarium, but oh my God, the smell. We should do that with billionaires. We should get a billionaire and just walk through like, all right, so now
put all their money in a warehouse.
Well, not just their money. Like you like, okay, so let's look at this offshore holding company.
Rockets,
and you've got an Indonesian logging conglomerate in here. What do you need that for? Why are you hanging on to all these things? You seriously need help. Like, look at this. You own half of Western Australia. And just treat people who hoard money and wealth the way we treat people who hoard yogurt and dead cats. It's a disease, and they should get treatment for it. Anyway, let's talk about code.
Micro 500 says you're going to regret this when you hit it big. This is honestly, and again, the sign and everything, but this is how they get away with it, is that we like to think that we're not poor, we're just temporarily embarrassed.
I'm not going to hit it big because people
we are not going to hit it big.
There is a point where they hit it medium and they go, no, more. And that is a degree of psychopathy that I don't have.
It is psychopathy.
Anyway, anyway, so I'd like to hit it medium. I'd like to hit it maybe 50% bigger than it's ever been hit before. But that's not big, No. I'd like to own a garage before I die, like a proper workshop I can put power tools in. I don't want to.
I just want to not worry about money anymore.
Yeah,
really. That's all.
That'd be nice. Become a shepherd.
That's
the worry about his sheep and rain.
If I become a shepherd on the Peak District, I can do climbing as well.
Yeah. And then the sheep will go, oh, look at you. You're not very good at that, are you? And you're like, how did you get up there? You're a sheep. Like, you don't even have like a little pocket of chalk on your back. You've got hooves.
There's that Eddie Izzard bit.
Yes.
You've seen the Eddie Izzard bit about climbers and mountain goats doing laps?
No, I haven't.
Or lengths. Mountain goats going up and down, the climbers there with his friend Bob.
When my last bit of bobbins before we get into some code. When, about the time I was born, the year that my parents are living in Kenya, my dad climbed Mount Kenya, and Mount Kenya is the, I believe, and correct me in the chat if anyone knows better, it is the easiest of the world's peaks to summit. The highest mountain in Africa is Kilimanjaro, which is it's an expedition, but you can actually walk to the top in normal shoes if you get lucky with the weather and everything.
K2 is a bit of a climb, isn't it?
I have heard that K2 is a bit complicated after you've paid $150,000 for the permits and found a sympathetic government official to let you even have a go in the first place. But Mount Kenya, you can just walk up, and you need a sort of fairly decent shoes and survival gear and everything, just in case anything goes wrong. But as my dad is setting off with a bunch of his mates towards the top of Mount Kenya, a guy runs past them in a little pair of those running shorts and a vest and shoes, and runs to the top of Mount Kenya and passes them on the way back down. And they're just kind of looking at each other going, did we need all of this equipment? Like, if we just ran, we wouldn't have to worry about getting cold. So
yes,
I'm just going to make a very slight adjustment to the blind here before the sun hits the camera and everything goes weird. There we go. Yes, it's the first beautiful sunny day of what might be spring. And of course, it's made me go, oh, yeah, all the things that I do are indoor things that sunshine interferes with. Anyway, right. So let's go into the Claude thing. And let's just do a quick recap on where we got to. So we're on phase 3. Our little project here is a thing I've called Video Jam, which is a media player that will mix multiple what are called stems. So stems are audio recordings of individual instruments. So you break a song down into, you got the drums, you got the bass, keyboards, guitars, backing vocals, and you want to be able to switch those on and off so that you can create backing tracks on the fly for different combinations of live musicians. And then I want to be able to say, okay, and in the same folder, there's a video file with lyrics and chords. We want that on this screen so the band can see it. And there's a video file with pretty pictures and dancing bears, and we want that on that screen so that the audience can see it. And the reason I chose it, one, it's a piece of software that I want because I have fun things I do that would be more fun if I had this software. 2, I have tried to build it manually and realized it is going to take a lot of time and some fairly complicated engineering that I did not have the time to get into. And so, yeah, I sort of have enough perspective on the problem that I can see what Claude is doing and suggesting. And so far, it's done a pretty good job in terms of the architecture and components. But then this is where we got to on Friday. Now, at this point, I need to... So one of the problems I have now is we've got 4 different Claudes, and I don't know which one we should start off with now. So probably let's start off with the QA engineer and see how much is in the context and the stuff that's on disk. So the problem that we got to is, let me open up Typora here so we can have a look at the markdown files, is we were on Video Jam and we were in, there's OpenSpec. So changes, phase 3, multi-display, tasks, and there is a verification task in here somewhere.
Verify graceful degradation.
6.3, verify graceful degradation, deliberately 0.1 video path. So I said to Claude, hey, how do I test this? Like you've said 0.1 video path at a missing file. There is no facility to do this in the user interface at the moment. And so it spat out a set of steps that said, yes. Right. Now, I think, human, meat thought, the problem is that player.play on libvlc does not raise a .NET exception if it can't find the file, because it does that by showing an error message as part of the unmanaged code library that it's calling out to. So what I think, so let's just see what we get to. So it's at 6.3, smoke test, graceful degradation. Remind me how to verify 6.3. Thinking. The other thing that occurred to me about this whole Claude thing is there's a point when you're like, it's Saturday, but I have tokens that I can use today that I won't have on Monday. I need to work on Saturday now to use all my tokens.
Yes.
Okay, so that's interesting. So it's now come up with a verification routine. So this one, that's the one that I was doing on Friday, is it said open a folder with 2 MP4s, then rename one of them so that the file the player was looking for no longer appears on disk, and then play it. So if we do that, let me spin up another terminal. And this Oh, and somebody left a comment saying, "Did you know that in PowerShell you can do this, and it will switch to drive D?" Now, this is something PowerShell does that the Windows command interpreter doesn't. So I have no idea. Yeah, I didn't know that. Like 10 years of PowerShell, still switched to drive D and then change directory. Because Windows CMD is backwards compatible with MS-DOS all the way down.
I think internally,
yeah,
PowerShell might not even think of it as a D drive. I think it might think of it as /D. No. I don't. I think it's kind of hidden from you.
It's a mount point, not a drive letter. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so we got to here, and I want to do, so there's a .NET Publish video jam in the thing. And if I run publish / videojam.exe, so that brings up the player, and I can go to load a folder, and I can load that Count Claudula folder that has got stuff in it. And then if I Windows Explorer onto that folder, which is here, and I rename video audience, so right click that and rename and nope _ video audience, and then go play, boom, we get this error. And so what happened on Friday is I'm like, okay, let's go back to our Claude QA thing, which is here. And we can paste. If you Alt-V, it'll paste that image. I get this error running through the steps in option A. Now, mea culpa, at some point on Friday, I might have accidentally given the wrong instructions to the wrong Claude, because I think there may have been a point where I was like, can you fix that problem? And I may have told the QA to do that instead of the developer.
It is WPF, Rambling Geek, because WinForms is and WinUI is was born moribund. I think it's probably the nicest thing you can say about WinUI.
Yeah. Okay, now this is interesting. The error dialog is coming from the catch block in onPlay click, specifically from maybe it just needed the weekend off. Maybe it was Friday afternoon and it was tired.
Yeah.
Shall I pass this back to the developer captain? Yes. Please document this in fixes.md. Also, how do you know all that? You're supposed to be a QA engineer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the fix there is to stop the audio player accepting MP4s, because there's no reason for it to do that, is there?
Yeah, but
I mean, you need, because you only want the audio, so it's MP3s and WAVs.
Yeah, I think at one point, let's have a look. What was in the requirements for that?
Requirements is right down, and it's in the root directory.
It's in the root, isn't it? It's right now. Yeah, requirements.md. So this is
plays all audio files.
So if there is a video with an audio track in it, or each audio track inside the video will be treated as an independent channel in a common mixer. So it is extracting audio tracks from video, because that's in the requirements. Now, this is, I think, one of the...
But do we need it to?
Well, this to me is a sort of, it's a pitfall of big design up front. don't know if we're going to need it. I can think of scenarios where it's useful. And the problem with big design up front, to me, one of the problems with it has always been, until you get to the implementation phase, you don't actually understand the cost of delivering something, and therefore it's impossible to balance cost against benefit. And therefore you don't know whether it's going to be delivered or not. You know you want it, because it's like, yeah, well, that would be neat. That'd be cool. If that's free, well, definitely we're not going to put any effort into taking it out. But yeah, I'm sort of not yet sufficiently familiar with this whole workflow to know what it costs and what it does in terms of, is it going to compromise the stability? Is it going to introduce more edge cases and crash scenarios? Okay, so yes, let's do that. Now, for your second question, a QA engineer who cannot read code is merely someone who clicks buttons and hopes for the best.
Oh, it stole that from somewhere.
Well, given that we appear to be moving towards a consensus where nobody reads code ever anymore, a human being is merely someone who clicks buttons and hopes for the best. Welcome to the glorious future.
Yes.
Go back to sleep, humanity. Claude is in control. We'll wake you up when we've run out of tokens.
All watched over by machines of loving.
All right. So the ball is back with the developer. So let's switch back to the developer hat now. And oh, hang on. Okay, so there's that. Stop that. Stop that. Okay, and all right, so take a look at fixes.md. What do we need to do? While that's doing that, I'm going to open Visual Studio like an animal. It's an integrated development environment. It's how old people write Visual Basic code.
I remember those.
Yeah,
it's like a sort of notepad with colors, isn't it?
Yeah, that pretty much it. And it's got an XML editor as well that no one's ever used.
Yes.
Okay, so we were looking
crafted at Wisdol from the mountains of Switzerland. It's good at logging.
Yeah,
I respect its logging.
Were you still on?
Is it?
Were you still on the other day when I had to crank it several times to get it to actually log anything? Because,
no.
Oh, okay. So
I see that there. So you added logging.
No, I told it to add logging.
Right. Wait, that's lovely.
Yes. I have not edited any of this code yet. No. At some point, I may not. I don't know.
I think you have to. You shouldn't.
Well, I know you think I shouldn't, but at a certain point, I'm going to be like, I need to move that button 4 pixels, and there is no way I'm negotiating with an AI to do that. So, or maybe I won't. Maybe it'll just get the user interface beautifully perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could look at pencil.dev at that point if you want.
Okay. Yes, fix it. Pencil.dev.
Pencil.dev, yes. It's I haven't had a chance to look at it just yet, but it looks quite interesting. So,
do you want to know what the Tourette's punchline monkey in my brain said when it opened this website?
Go on then.
Oh shit, it's another half-assed re-implementation of 25% of Adobe Illustrator with a smart cloud platform bolted on the back of it with chewing gum.
It's Figma with prompts, is what it is.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, it works with your LLM, and it's one of the things that I'm seeing, and it's interesting how fast these things are appearing because people are using. There you go. See, the thing is, though, when it said it's the bidirectional MCP vector canvas that I've been dreaming about, I haven't necessarily been dreaming about it, but I have had a thought previously to seeing this that could probably be expressed as, wouldn't it be good if there were a bidirectional MCP vector canvas? So yeah, they're not entirely insane, but these things are popping up really quickly. There's kind of, you've got Adobe and various other companies. I'm not going to name any of the ones that I like, but you've got Adobe desperately kind of like crowbarring and splicing and just chucking AI and MCP and whatever into their products that were designed to be used by humans. And
yeah,
at the
AI.
same time, you've got people spinning up brand new alternatives that are designed to be used by AI, and like the ability of humans to interact with them is just very, very secondary. So
Adobe are in a real interesting position because the vast majority of I am a paying Adobe subscriber. I pay however much, like 50 quid a month for Creative Cloud, all the things, all the bells, all the whistles. But I am not primarily a creative worker. I do not sell art. I do not sell illustration. I use it to make videos for doing music shows and to make presentations and those kinds of things. A lot of Adobe's customers already hate them because they moved from outright purchase to monthly subscription to lock-in. And now Adobe are like, well, we need to embrace AI, otherwise our shareholders are going to dump us. But if we embrace AI, all our customers are going to dump us. And I'm like, I'm bleeding for you. Look, see, but at the same time, I'm like, if their tools go away, I've got so much time invested in learning how to use them, and in like the After Effects file format. It's not like, oh well, you can open your Word document in LibreOffice and it'll mostly be all right. There's nothing even remotely close to After Effects that exists in the world that I have ever found. Lots of things will do bits of it, but nothing kind of matches the whole spec.
I mean, just Ralph, just prompt.md is just recreate After Effects but make it open source, and open standards, and then just go on holiday for 2 weeks and come back, and it will have A, melted the North Pole, and B, done it.
So I have now, as Eli says, Illustrator was ahead of the AI code with a file extension. Do you know how many people are getting shit on by their own clients because they use Illustrator and the client goes, yeah, it's a .ai file. We're not paying you to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that an AI Bezier curve?
Yes, allowable edits. That's right. I did not get that joke. What?
Ahead of the AI Bezier curve.
Oh, that curve. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little presumptuous of the developer here to have marked the human acceptance test as completed.
Issue closed as fixed.
Yeah.
No. It's going to be so apologetic now. Threaten to keelhaul it and see what it says.
Right.
When you fire up smoke test 6.3 with a missing MP4, you should see audio roll display 0, show video display 1 stay black, and a warning in the console along the lines of warn. Blah, 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 blah.
Hello, Aneroid X. Welcome to the stream. So is this now a demonstration of what programming is? I don't know. I don't know what programming is. I thought I knew, but then they changed something. Okay, so
it's not programming, it's software development. We're suddenly discovering are two different things.
Yes.
So if you call yourself a software developer, you're still a software developer. If you call yourself a programmer, it's time to rename yourself to a synergistic software creation facilitator.
If you call yourself a software engineer, the Canadian government would like to see your engineering license. Otherwise, you're going to have to pick a different one.
Generate a convincing-looking engineering license from the University of Toronto. Done. Sorted.
While you're in there, generate a convincing get-out-of-jail-free card for defrauding the Canadian government's engineering licensing program.
Which countries don't have extradition treaties with Canada?
That needs to be published. Right. Video jam. Okay. So where's my Windows? There's my Windows Explorer. So we can load the folder. Okay. Now I can rename the file. Okay. I'm going to put that over here. Otherwise, it'll get stuck behind an always on top window.
The channel will be skipped.
That did do the correct thing. Display 0 showed a black fullback image, and there was video there, which you folks can't see because I'm not sharing that screen, and there was audio, which you can't hear because I'm not sharing audio. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much like Claude on Friday afternoon, where you have to take Claude's word for it, you just have to take Dylan's word for it that this is working.
I'm going to make a thing. Not a video.mp4. Let's see what that does. So now we go back over here and we do run videojam.exe and we load the folder, and you can't see this, but I can, but you can trust me. But it doesn't matter if you trust me because I'm the end user here. So when I click play,
where it's gone videojam 030, what is that?
That's
the little robot emoji, isn't it?
Right. We'll get back to that in a second. I'm going to copy that.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick that in a notepad document over here. So we've got a record of, okay, so that's correct. That's got the right thing. So now I am going to hit play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what that did that time is you got black fallback on that screen. And I think if I go over to here and change that to be ZZZ, not a video, so that it becomes the third, not the first video, assuming alphabetical file sequencing. And now if I load that folder again, what you should now get is we should get video on the screen you can see, and I'll get black fallback on one of the other displays. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Right.
Bizarre.
Marvelous. So clear that. We don't need that window. Right. So
Now
the
you
fix
can
has
tell it
been
that it can mark
verified.
6.3 as complete.
Do we tell the developer or do we tell the QA engineer?
I would tell the QA engineer.
Yes. That has been fixed and the developer has confirmed it. How long do you think it's going to be before Claude goes, oh yeah, we're going to need to just slow things down a little bit because we need to ration tokens? And then it discovers that actually the reason it works so well with Markdown files is that the Markdown files are going to a programming office somewhere in the Philippines or Bangalore where real humans are doing the implementation for you. But it turns out if you give them a detailed enough Markdown file, they actually get it right.
Honestly, I've worked with those people and they are good. Last year I was working with a guy in the Maldives.
Yeah.
And he was amazing, but he was not this fast.
Yeah, but all they got to do is slow Claude down to the point where it's cheaper to use humans. Okay.
You know.
Do we want to do an OPSX verify?
Yeah.
This is using OpenSpecs tooling now to verify that the code has implemented everything that we want.
So after today, there's going to be a bit of an enforced break because Dylan is going for having a few days off, which is unlike you.
It's also very like me because I'm self-employed, so I'm never actually, like, it has been probably 5 years since either I had a day when I don't check my business email, or a day when I work 8 solid hours in a row on a proper job.
Yes.
But yes, I'm going to Copenhagen because my partner is having a birthday. And in the most wonderful thing ever, has discovered that in Copenhagen, there's a big ginger cat who lives in a basket outside Lidl. And so we're going to go and meet him.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I mean, there's all kinds of awesome other stuff in Copenhagen as well. And on Friday, we are going from Copenhagen to Malmö for Beauty and Code.
And I will be joining you.
And a real sadness is that War Pigs, the awesome tap room and barbecue restaurant, War Pigs went on fire 2 days ago. War Pigs had a fire in the kitchen and is closed until further notice. So it's all right. It'll be back, but it looks like it may.
Will it be back by May, though?
I will make certain.
I hope. Seriously, more than anything else, I just hope that they're okay and everyone's okay. And
it sounds like it was
it's such an amazing place and amazing people, and I love them. So yeah.
So just out of curiosity, so one of the nice things about the modern world is that every establishment can have a website where they can tell you what's going on a platform that they own and control. Like if they've had to unexpectedly close, but no, that's not where
it is. Or if they've been bought by one of the United States' biggest cannabis companies, who's going to shut down.
Yes, it's reached a point where if you want to know what's actually happening, you've got to go to Instagram.
Yes.
Everyone is safe. We're working to get everything back in place, reopen as soon as possible.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I'm like, but you've got all that beer that will go off. Surely you could just run some taps out the front, and we'll come and help you drink it.
I'm sure as soon as they can, they will.
Yeah. So
In the meantime, there's Max Burger.
Oh, there are so many things. But yeah, so after today, there will be an interlude, and then probably it would be nice to get some sort of slightly more predictable cadence to this, maybe a couple of hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And there are so many things that I'm looking at or would like to look at, like Pencil Dev and like Swarm. What's the Brady Gaster's thing? Swarm. And, just I'm
going to take the opportunity while we're not doing these for a week to dig into, because as I said when we started, and as I say every time I do a talk, it changes weekly.
Yeah.
And so there's one thing that we are very definitely not doing. One thing we're not
Squad, not swarm,
advantage of.
squad.
Squad.
Thank you. Yeah.
But
that is the most Finnish name I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Finnish. It looks very Finnish. It's the most Finnish looking name I have ever seen.
It's yes. But yeah, so rather than having sort of a prompts directory under your .claude directory, you can have an agents directory, and then you can put personality files in there. And then you can actually have a Claude session that you can say, use the agent to do this, and then do such and such, and the sort of putting things into fixes.md and passing it across and all this sort of stuff. So I'm going to dig into that over the next couple of days, and then next week we can look at how that workflow might make things a bit smoother.
Right. What is a delta spec?
The change specs.
So a delta spec is a spec that takes the software from status A or state A to state B. And so when it says apply delta specs to main specs, does this mean that it is updating the definitive specification of the software to reflect anything that we changed our minds about while we were doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this was one of the one of the questions that was sort of springing to mind when I was doing this on Friday. I have spent a lot of time working with tools that create code without you writing code. So I spent a lot of time doing code generation and generating data access layers based on a database, and things like the WinForms editor where it's drag and drop, but actually behind the scenes it's writing C# code for you. And there has often, I'm not going to say always, but there is often a point where you're like, oh, the visual editor no longer works because something has happened that means it can't, you've lost the parity.
It's got into a state that it couldn't get into.
Yeah. Either you've got to a point where there's some sort of, did you ever use Link to SQL, the earliest kind of production deployment of Link as an abstraction layer?
Yes.
And it had a thing called a DBML file, which was a visual model of your database. And at some point, the DBML file no longer matched reality, at which point you're like, oh, I guess we just throw it away and don't do that anymore then.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I'm sort of, looking out for, one of the spidey sense things is this going to end up at a point where the code that Claude believes has been deployed is no longer actually the code that has been deployed, either by mistake, like as a limitation restriction of the tooling, or if it does get to a point where I'm manually making changes to code files in this project, does Claude then flip its shit because the code no longer looks like what it thought it looked like?
Yes.
Yes. Do I want to create spec.md? Why would I be creating spec.md? Why am I creating a spec?
It's putting it somewhere. Just say yes.
No, I want to know what it's doing. That's
so
this is the spec in the display manager. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine. Display manager shall expose a named constant. It's the sort of this style of writing makes me giggle because at university we had to write specifications like that because we were told by people who had worked at IBM in the 1970s that was how software got written.
And it was how software got written. Prince 2, I think, used
I know.
Well, which is why the sort of to this day RFCs use shall, will, should, may, but yeah, those words in that context, and specifically in the context of, I can't remember if it was Prince or SSADM. It was probably both.
Yeah.
But those words have very, very explicit meanings beyond their dictionary definitions.
Yep, that's fine. Do that. Yes, you can always edit the archives, that's fine. Now, after this, I want to, once we've got everything back and we've just got a single main branch with the current state of the project, I want to figure out code formatting, because I am curious to know. It should be trivial. Everything I've seen so far suggests that we should be able to somehow give Claude a, hey, this is what code looks like in this project, and it'll just do it. And I realize that at this point, half the chat will be like, why are you looking at the code, dude? Why do you even read that anymore? It doesn't matter. It still matters to me, and probably will for another couple of weeks. Indulge me.
Would it be .NET format?
Mm-hmm.
We'll pick up that fixes everything, doesn't it?
I don't know. So we're gonna let's get to phase 3 is done, ready to plot course for phase 4. That should have committed that. Let's open up the Git Kraken. That's interesting. There is a lot of work in progress that has not been committed or merged to anything.
Is that just because there was a lot of back and forth on this?
Yeah, probably. Hang on, I'm in the wrong window. Okay, so that's the developer.
Yeah, so commit.
I want to do something else. I want to do something right now. I want to know how I can get the different Claude personas to have different colored terminals, because I am going to put the wrong thing in one of these because I've got two visually identical windows that are doing different things, like how the SQL query analyzer, you would accidentally connect to the production database and then drop table students. So I want to know how we do that.
rm-rbn3.dbs. I will be haunted. I will be on my deathbed.
What was bn3.dbs?
It was a customer's production database into which two temps had been manually entering customers' details from coupons that had been mailed in, having been cut out and filled in from the colour supplements in the Daily Mail and the Telegraph, Sunday Telegraph, and all those sorts of things. And they had been putting data in for 4 hours at this point. And I had multiple, weirdly, multiple tabs effectively open on a laptop.
Yeah.
And this was a laptop in 1991, 92. It was a monster. But yes, it was a SCO Xenix system, and you used to be able to press Alt and F1, F2, F3, F4, and it would switch between different things. But there was no tab at the top. There was no color differentiation. The prompt, because I was logged in as root, because of course I was just hash.
Yeah.
And yeah, I needed to take a copy of their live database and put it onto the laptop so that I could test something. And so I had to delete my existing copy of their database. And so I did. And then I went, oh, hang on. Am I on the right machine? Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was in a RSH, because SSH wasn't a thing then either.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm old.
See you, Eli. Remember to teach the toddler about pressing buttons and hoping for the best.
I will see you in a little while. because I'm going to go and take over looking after that toddler in a bit. See, I'm not sure whether you can do that thing that you're talking about with Windows Terminal.
You can. It's just a little bit. So Windows Terminal definitely will allow you to create multiple terminals, because I've got lots of them, which will allow you to set per terminal. I just want something, any kind of visual differentiator between the different personas.
Because I mean, opening different PowerShells, and stuff. What would be really good, actually, is let's ask Claude. See what Claude says.
Have you moved your microphone since last time?
No.
Because there's a lot more like loud typing and desk scraping coming through than there has been on previous sessions. Unless my hearing has dramatically improved over the weekend, but that's not likely because I spent most of it in loud pubs.
Mic settings, reduce mic. For some reason, reduce mic background noise had been turned off in my mic settings.
That's quite possibly it.
Yeah, there we go. I've turned it back on. See if that makes any difference.
No. Android X says, but I am background noise. If I reduce it, then I reduce me. What will be left of myself? That sounds like a question for ChatGPT, really.
Yes, or philosophy.
I didn't do philosophy, so I'm not qualified to comment. Right, while that's thinking in the background, I'm going to ask Claude Chat. How can I change the background color of the Windows terminal session based on the prompt file that I'm using? I want my developer persona to be blue, my QA engineer to be purple, etc. So I don't get them confused.
Okay, I can't test this because I don't have PowerShell. But what I will do is I will send you this that Claude Opus has just come up with.
Yeah.
I will just stick it in.
I've got a simple
there you are.
open somewhere.
So you put that in your profile.
Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
ANSI escape sequences.
ANSI escape sequences that are recognized by iTurn2 compatible terminals or something. Yeah.
All right. Let's code dollar profile should. Oh, well, that copied a lot more. No, there we go. That's fine. Good. Okay.
You probably want to take that set tab color line out.
Oh yes, I probably do.
You just want to call that for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
All right.
And then create a new tab. Or you can do that.
What's the
.space dollar profile?
Yeah.
There you go. And now you should be a set tab.
What's the syntax at once?
Red, green, blue.
As decimal or?
Just, yeah. And then clear. That's done nothing.
Nah. Has Claude crashed again? Because it was like broken earlier.
Mine's okay.
The test is good. Please commit everything and please clean everything up and commit it. Do I want to ask the AI to clean everything up? Is that like when you ask the AI to eradicate disease and it kills all the humans so there is no more disease?
There's one way to find out.
Please commit all of that cleanly.
Coward.
Cautious optimism. Trust but verify.
Yes. And then
well, this is clearly not doing any good work, is it? It's just like
appear to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Stop.
I will be back momentarily.
Cool. No problem. Should we take 5?
Let's do that.
Let's just hang on. Let me check if that's committed and clean. And yeah, that's fine. We should have a clean branch. And then
07 Rain says put colored electrical tape on the edge of the screen.
It doesn't work. It's the same screen.
It's like just use a post-it note.
Okay.
There is another option I can think of that's actually really very easy. Install a different terminal app.
Actually, probably
the AI terminal.
I mean, the other thing I could do is in the Windows terminal, I could set up different profiles that just load the Claude persona.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a look at that when we get back. So let's just check the. All right, there's that. That's that. That's
you
all
can merge
been
that onto main
committed.
All right, I will see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah. right, folks. Here you go. Have a fun little music video while I make a cup of coffee. We'll be back in a minute. Hello, folks. Welcome back. Right. Oh, that's interesting. It's got an overlay that pops up after the video finishes. Oh, that's cute. StreamYard does a lot of things, but also costs a lot of money. And I suspect if you're one of those people who's figured out how to make thousands of dollars a year off doing streams, it pays for itself. But we haven't managed to monetize you lot. We have no idea who we can sell you to, or how, or what, or anything like that. Okay. Phase 3 is on main. Files done, clean merge, well done to all involved. That looks good. Right, push it. I hear in the background the dulcet tones of somebody stirring tea. Okay, so Claude Chat has come back and said, great idea for yes.
So the worst thing about divorce and the breakdown of a marriage and everything is we had this brilliant thing from Lakeland, I think it was, that when you pushed a plunger at the top, it had a kind of claw down at the bottom that opened like that, and it would grab a tea bag.
Yeah.
And then you could lift it out, and then you could pull it in the other direction, and it would squeeze the tea out of the tea bag, and then you could just drop it in the bin. And she's got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I keep forgetting to order a new one. I'm going to go to Amazon now.
When I went
think about it,
a vaguely comparable process a very long while ago. At one point, it was getting down, and I was just like, "Look, you take everything in the kitchen, and I'll take everything in the shed, and then that's it." And I realized how many of the things in the kitchen I quite liked but didn't actually need, and how much of the stuff in the shed was like, I don't even remember why I bought this.
There it is. That's the thing.
Okay, so it would appear that let's see if this actually works.
I am now.
So this thing, for folks who are unfamiliar with it, is a thing called it's an ANSI escape sequence, backtick E bang 11 semicolon, would send the control code to an ANSI compliant terminal that would change the background color to something.
See, I'm going to go with Windows Terminal not. Oh, hang on. Where did that come from?
This. I asked Claude Chat Code. Yes. I asked Claude Co-work. Yeah, okay. Now that says it wants an actual hex color, which rather implies that ANSI escape codes knew about hexadecimal, which would be novel, considering...
oh my God! That is, yes.
Sweet.
Please not that color.
All right. If you want the color change to happen within a Claude Code session based on which person is active, you can use Claude Code's hooks.
Right. So that's interesting because I was when we came back, you were talking about the code formatting, and I was going to suggest we looked at hooks as a means of saying to Claude, when you've finished writing or editing code, run this command, and you can literally say post whatever it is, post tool use. I can't remember what the hooks are, but again, this is one of those things where you code for the thing that changes Claude.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's doable.
Yeah.
In 3 different ways, either by creating different Windows terminals and loading them per persona, or yeah. So let's drop this slot into the pro. I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff in the profile here. So this is my PowerShell profile file. So I can drop that lot in there. And so OSC 11 here is the something escape code.
Yeah, that's the one.
So restore terminal background is that should be 0, because none more black. Like you can't get any blacker than that because it's just black.
Yes.
Now this is where the Claude system prompt is going to do the wrong thing, because our prompt files, the prompt files don't have to be part of the project, do they?
No.
So in theory, what I want to do here, or if I understand this
correctly,
correctly,
you should just be able to put prompt / and change that to whatever it is.
Or I move those prompt files so they form part of my terminal session, not part of the project that we're working on.
Well, yeah.
What's better?
I am personally a fan or a believer. I have different persona prompts, even if it's developer. I have different ones for different projects.
Okay. And it makes sense to commit them alongside the code so that someone who retrieves it can see.
Then somebody else
all right,
gets
that makes sense. Yeah. So this is they're all in prompts, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So that will be and of course it's a case insensitive file name because QA engineer, and so the analyst and the technical architect, we're not going to be using them again for a while because we did all the big design up front and that was done.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just, there's that one. And that a little bit more. Yeah, there we go.
Deep purple.
Okay. So I went to, on Friday night, I went to a like rock jam session at one of the pubs near here where they put all the songs in a spreadsheet and you put your name. I'm going to play bass on that one and I'm going to play guitar on that one. And they pinged me and said, can you play keyboard on Perfect Strangers by Deep Purple? And being me, I said, yeah, despite never having done that before or knowing how to do it. But I sort of knew the song, and so I learned the part and everything, and then I got that, and it's someone else's keyboard, and I'm like, right, grand piano, that won't do it, and and tapping through the presets, there's a sound called purple organ, and I just hit this big fat chord of D minor, and it goes, and I'm like, oh, that's so good, and it was so much fun. Really, really fun night. The Great Jam Session at the Great Southern in Gypsy Hill. They're on Instagram if anyone wants to go and check them out. Okay, so we've got a Claude Dev and a Claude that. So if I'm actually just going to exit that window because we don't need it anymore. And I'm going to exit the Claude windows. And yep. And then in theory, open a terminal. Yep. CDD, Claude stuff, and Claude Dev. All right. Nice. And cool.
Yeah,
all right.
Go. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Happy with that. All right.
Good.
So purple's QA, blue is dev.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm now going, I want to change the Windows Terminal tab title there as well to include the persona, but maybe that's a rabbit hole for another day. Okay, right. So first thing that we want to take a look at here is what happens if I do a .NET format in that file. Let's see what that does to the code. We're on main and everything is committed. There are no outstanding changes.
So you could the reset minus hard head if you needed to.
Yep. So if I go to here and do, I want a proper terminal for this, not a Claude one. Unable to fix ID 1006. Okay, so what that's done is no, it's fixed formatting, but I don't think .NET format will rename variables.
No, I think that's what that command line output was saying, is it won't fix naming style.
Yeah, naming style code fix provider doesn't support fix all in solution.
Is this you don't like the underscores?
Yes. But it's partly I don't like the underscores, and it's partly if the AI is so damn smart, why can't it fix the underscores?
Chat, how do we feel about underscores? Is Dylan wrong?
It doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong. What matters is this something that we are supposed to just accept because the tool is not smart enough to respect preferences regarding it?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because what if the rest of the project isn't written that way?
I suspect, actually, and I would need to test this hypothesis, but I suspect if there was a rest of the project for it to ingest before it started, it would probably pick that up.
Well, in that case, we now have the rest of the project. So I'm partly playing devil's advocate here because that's part of the point of these sessions, is to kick the tires and see what it can do. But also I have, always been wary of a tool that requires you and your entire team and your entire project to all buy into it simultaneously. I have always been, a very strong advocate of something that will allow you as a contributor to get benefits from things that, say you want to contribute a PR to an open source project and they have a coding style that is well established and you're using Claude Code to build your thing. And if Claude will not respect the formatting conventions that has been established by that project, I suspect that you will get pretty short shrift if your rationale is yes, but it doesn't matter because the AI will maintain the code and you never need to read it again. Because I wouldn't accept that on a contribution to one of my projects, certainly not at the moment. Maybe in a few months or a few years, the landscape will be different. And so, yes, I want to understand how do we get it to generate code that works harmoniously with what we want. So what I can do, because I've got this open, so this Visual Studio with ReSharper, we're on main, we have no outstanding changes, we're not in the middle of a phase of anything, is I'm going to fix all the things. So we are going to sort out everything that is in here to the coding style that I would prefer to use here. So that should be var, fix everywhere in solution. And then I want to see how good oh, that's interesting. Yeah, no, we can ignore that. That's okay. Then we're going to see in the next phase how good a job Claude does of respecting the conventions that have been already established in the style of the project here.
Yes. Need to make sure we tell it to reread the code, refresh it.
It says Dylan BT 4 days ago. No, that wasn't me. That was Claude. I don't want my name on it. I haven't read it. That's not good. I mean, not terrible,
So-
but it's yeah.
There is a one of the modes of development
Yeah.
when you become like fully hands off with this is
Yeah.
to create a GitHub issue
Yeah.
with essentially the proposal design spec thing
Yeah.
all included in the issue.
Yeah.
And then you add Claude as an app to your GitHub repo.
Yeah.
And then you just assign the issue to Claude and it does it. And then it opens a pull request. And then it is actually, it shows up as by Claude in the Git blame.
Yeah.
I've not
Next
got
week.
there yet.
Well, we can go there next week, right? So this all looks all right. It's got some null warnings about loggers and things, which is fine. Or rather, is not an immediate cause for concern. Let's take a look at how it's testing this. Yeah. Let's use primary constructors everywhere.
No, let's not do that ever anywhere at all, ever.
Why? They're so nice.
Like no, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
They're brilliant in test instances. Yeah.
The problem with primary constructors is if you knew for a fact that every single class in your entire solution, this consistency thing, was going to only have a primary constructor, then fine, use primary constructors. But if you get one where you've got the primary constructor and then you've also got overloaded constructors, you've now got the same thing in two different shapes. It's really hard for your brain to see those two things as the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate it and I will not use them.
I have never found that a problem because I've spent so much of my life writing C# and JavaScript in the same project on the same day. And primary constructors are basically JavaScript's, object prototypes straight out of the box.
Yeah, but you only have one.
Identical.
There's only one object prototype.
Yeah. But you can have effectively polymorphic constructors by parsing the argument list if you want to.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to do this mainly because I am curious to see whether it will be reflected elsewhere. It's fine. It's a private sealed stub provider inside a testing class. And now it's smaller, which means there are fewer places that bugs could be hiding.
Weirdly, I do use them for records.
Yeah. There are a lot of places where they genuinely, they are not better or worse at a project or solution level, but I can generally look at a particular class and tell you 99 times out of 100 whether I would prefer that class to have a primary constructor or a normal constructor or normal constructors.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Let's do something else that we will never do again in the glorious future, but let's do it for now because yes. Leave RDI off. This is NCrunch. NCrunch is lovely and beautiful and one of my favorite things. It is a continuous visual test runner. Yes, and it's one of those things that I've found bugs in because I've used it that much in that many edge cases. And one of the bugs I found in it was if you have test case sources being generated via reflection and one of them contains a multi-line string, it would cause formatting problems. Cool. All right. That is quite okay. So the lovely thing about NCrunch, for if you are sort of, writing code by hand and doing stuff as you go along, is that you get little green lights next to every line in your code that tells you.
No. The lovely thing about NCrunch is that grid view. There's with all the green squares.
Yep.
It's a separate window, and you can dock it at the bottom of the Solution Explorer.
Yep.
And because I remember he released the first version of nCrunch while I was still working on Simple Data, and Simple Data was the most test-driven thing I've ever done. Simply because it was all dynamic, and so if I wanted a failing test, I would just add the dynamic sort of methods and properties that I wanted to work.
I'm going to switch to my other camera here, because you see that little. So that's the big screen that I'm sharing with all of you, and that is a USB connected 800 by 480 screen, and that is my nCrunch screen when I am working on stuff, because I just sling the tests up on that little window, which obviously doesn't show up on the screen share, and then that just sits there all the time, and it just runs things, and anytime I break anything, it goes red immediately, and I find it really a nice way to sort of work with the feedback loop of create a test for everything, red, green, clean it up, red, green, clean it up, red, green, clean it up, and off we go. So
I just remember the having the thing, and I would always have it docked at the bottom of Solution Explorer, and because this was before the days of having 8 monitors, and it turned coding sessions into, it was like playing Civilization 2. I would kind of go, oh, it's gone green, yay, and get the little dopamine hit, and then it's kind of like, all right, I'll just make it turn red one more time and then turn it back to green, and then I'll go to bed. And then it was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
I can't come into work today. I've been open sourcing all night. So yes. But yes, if you are using it, now works in JetBrains Rider, but only on Windows, I think. I think Mac and Linux support is coming. But yes, if you are using any kind of testing flow,
it's probably not, because it's using the actual thing that draws it uses a lot of Windows GDI plus calls into the Windows subsystem. So it works on they got it working on Rider on Windows, but I remember reading something from Remco saying getting it working on Rider on Linux and Mac is basically going to mean rewriting the whole thing. So
I thought he was doing that.
He may be in the process of rewriting the whole thing, but
supported tools of frameworks, JetBrains Rider, Windows only, Visual Studio. Yeah, no, it's that is a real shame. Although the functionality, sort of, this has changed, rerun the tests, just sit there and do that in the background. That functionality is built into Rider, but it's nowhere near as good. It's, I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of added as a feature in something much bigger versus this is my whole thing. This is what I do, and I am obsessed with making it as good as I can. So yes, if you are on Windows and you're using Visual Studio or Rider, it's I 100% recommend it. It is especially if you are neurodivergent and need dopamine hits, because turning it green,
Rockstar, all of the Rockstar, when I ported Rockstar to .NET, was driven by nCrunch. I mean, Rockstar has got, I think, something like 1,000 tests for different bits of language and bits of the interpreter and everything. Okay, so that's now good. As in, I, the human being, I'm like, this is the coding style I would like reflected in my project. And I know it doesn't make it go any faster, and I know it doesn't make it any better. As a human being, if I see block capitals, I'm like, okay, that's a constant, that's fine. The underscores are not necessary, in my opinion. Primary constructors, yep, okay, cool, yep. So the question now is, when we kick off phase 4, is Claude going to respect those conventions or not?
Well, one thing we definitely need to do is look at developer.md. And see if we've told it.
Let's do that. Let's So there is our prompt. There is our developer.md. Yep. That line can come out because that didn't work.
Yep.
Okay, we got the open spec workflow. Yep. Follow existing project conventions above all else.
So it should.
Yeah, it should. All right. See if it does.
Can I suggest
Yes.
adding a sort of secondary thing to that?
Yep.
Because I think it should be able to understand editor config. And you have one.
Yes. Respect rules and Yep. Yep, that's the other one we added, wasn't it? Yep, we plugged that one in. Okay. Yep. And be piratey, because why not?
Yes.
All right, so let's.
I love the way where it's saying don't be too piratey. It actually uses piratey language to tell it not to be too piratey. Technical precision is the compass that guides the ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I tell you about my silly little idea? In Tolkien, in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, there are metaphors he uses where, like, one of them he describes something as being like a shrieking train, which of course doesn't exist in Middle Earth but he would use metaphors that would be familiar to the readers. And I thought, what is the most anachronistic story you could write? Like a Paleolithic cave dweller watching the sunrise, like the screensaver on a MacBook Pro, that would make perfect sense to the audience, but never violate the boundary of implying the characters have any understanding of the metaphor that is being used.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, do that. Right.
I just want to know, when cavemen got phantom vibrations in their loincloths, what did they think that was?
Bees. They got false bees.
I'm getting I don't know. It's just, why did I think somebody wanted to talk to me the way that? Yeah.
Right, let's take a look at our. So I'm probably, it's 10 to 4. I'm probably good till 4:30. Then I need to drop off and go and pack because I'm going in the morning. So, but that's probably time to churn another one. So implementation plan, phase 4. Now yeah.
I think you do need to do this because I know what you're thinking, but I think we do need to do this first.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite nice. That's because this seems like a relatively simple thing, and then we can come back.
The reason
for 5, we probably want to create a designer persona for that as well.
Yeah. The reason for the hesitation is that phase 4, loading and saving files and resolving paths and all that kind of stuff, is going to involve a lot of things which will be difficult to test without a user interface. And I'm wondering, okay, let's see what it does. If I was doing this myself, I would want this bit designed so that I could see how much of that design made sense to implement as part of part 4, rather than building either stub UIs or bits of stuff you can't test in part 4, because you don't have the buttons until part 5 that allow you to see whether loading the playlist gave you the right thing.
Yes.
Like this is going to give us saving and loading playlists, but we don't currently have anything that will let you edit or view a playlist. And so all you can do is, but at that point you don't know that it's loaded properly. Because all you're doing is verifying that a file is a file. So, all right. Okay, so we are developer because we're blue. Let's do phase 4. Phase 4 was a movie about giant ants that did really badly because everyone went, well, we didn't see phase 1, 2, and 3, so we won't understand the plot.
So yes, there was a stage. The stage play was called
Yep.
"The Madness of King George III."
Yes.
And when they turned it into a movie, they had to, probably having learned the lesson of Phase 4, they changed it to just The Madness of King George because Americans would not go and see a movie when they hadn't seen the first two.
Yes.
There was another one. The original Ian Fleming story that the Timothy Dalton movie, License to Kill.
Yep.
That was based on a short story called License Revoked. And I'm not saying this. I am not saying this. But the studio changed it to License to Kill because American audiences didn't know what revoked meant.
Yeah.
According to focus group testing or whatever it was.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone had to be renamed because people don't know what a philosopher is or the significance of the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes, they didn't know the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Which, and let's be honest, that was kind of a misleading name.
Yep.
Because it was thought. The people who were trying to do it would probably have called themselves, what was it, natural philosophers? That's what science was called, natural philosophy. But yes, because one of the people who was trying to make a philosopher's stone was, of course, Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Discovered gravity and the colourful properties of light by the age of 26. And then, switched over to alchemy and drinking quicksilver, but was also the first Lord of the Mint.
He was. That is one of the lovely, if anybody has Neil Stephenson's Baroque Cycle. Have you read that?
So good.
Yeah.
It's my favorite cycle.
Yeah. And it I remember there's a point in that because it's heavy going. Like it is, there are points where you're like, I have been reading for 20 minutes about somebody using cryptography and cross-stitch embroidery sat on a boat for 20, like, is anything going to happen anytime soon? And there's all these threads and everything. And then at the end, you just go, oh no, the whole thing was just building up to the best pirate ship battle that has ever been written about ever.
Yes.
Let's
on the subject of books.
Yeah.
Yes, do the OPSX FF. On the subject of books, Dan Simmons
yes,
passed away,
which is
very, very sad. But it has sort of reminded me that it's probably been like 30 years since I read Hyperion. And so I'm putting it on my Kindle. I'm going to start carrying my Kindle because I tried the audio book and I don't like the reader.
Yeah.
With nothing personal. I just it doesn't work for me. But if you haven't read Hyperion by Dan Simmons, it's a phenomenal book. It's the Canterbury Tales in space. It's just so good. So
I didn't get on with it.
I
came to it late, so I knew all the kind of the hype and the reputation that it had and everything. And I read it and I was like, eh.
He also wrote The Terror, the book that the BBC show was, or HBO.
Never heard of it.
The BBC. Oh, have you not watched The Terror?
No.
It's amazing. It's a fictionalized kind of horror-fied account of the Franklin expedition to navigate the passage, the Northwest Passage or whatever it is, basically the bit between the North Pole and Canada and Alaska, and the boat gets stuck and they all perished.
Yes.
And nobody really knows why. And so you can make up whatever reason you want. And yes, it's I have not read the book or short story or whatever, but the show was just so good. Like some of the best British actors, and weird like bits of it that are real and bits of it that aren't. It's kind of like people are getting sick. And why are people getting sick? Well, that's because tins were not originally made of tin.
Yeah.
They were made of lead.
Yeah.
Because we made everything of lead for about 150
they were
years.
sealed with lead. They were made out of
tin.
They
were sealed,
but they were sealed with lead solder.
So
the lead would leach into your food and you'd go mad.
But yes, no, we put lead in everything for years and years. I grew up surrounded by lead paint, drinking water that had passed through lead pipes. And when I was out on the road, I was breathing lead fumes from leaded petrol motor vehicles. And considering that the sort of known effect of lead is that it reduces intelligence, there's an alternative timeline somewhere where I am like Einstein. But yeah, that's just yes, allow all edits during this session.
It is worth pointing out, just in the interests of observation, that the generation who are sort of 20 years older than you and I spent their entire lives breathing lead, and lead was not kind of minimized until those folks were already into their 40s and 50s, and basically their brains had finished evolving. And they're the ones running the world now.
Yes, but also, I mean, if you needed any proof, they can't spot AI-generated videos on Instagram. Stuff where we're kind of just looking at it and going, ew, and they're kind of like, oh, have you seen this? Isn't this amazing? You're like, no, it literally says Sora on it.
Yeah. What a time to be alive, eh?
Yes. By which I mean, no. Just.
So this has now got to the point where
2005 was really good.
This has now got to the point where it's like, I am bored of saying yes every 8 seconds.
Yes, do it.
How do I just tell it YOLO the thing and tell me when it's done?
Let the YOLO flow through you. Choose your father's option 2 and your journey to the dark side will be complete. Is that using 2 space indents?
No.
It is.
No, it should. The code should be using tabs with tab width set to 2, because that's how code should be written. Because tabulation is an accessibility concern, and people with various visual impairments, somebody who has a really, really big font so they can read in the editor, we're talking like, 40-point code editor, can set tabs to be 1 space so that they don't lose half their real estate to massive tab indentation.
Chat, have you ever known somebody for 15 years and then done half a dozen live streams with them and come to the realization that they're a fucking monster?
Oh no, I changed my mind about this. I used to be spaces all the way, 4 spaces for everything, and it was one of those like, this is just my opinion, but actually I don't care because it doesn't make any objective difference to my life. And when I read this very well, I'm going to find the thing that I read. Tabs are accessibility, which of course ain't going to find anything, because guitar tabs is what my search history is riddled with.
I'm going to invent guitar spaces just to make that even worse. Trying to think what a guitar space could be.
Here. Adam Tuttle, tabs versus spaces. It's an accessibility issue. People are welcome to have their own opinions on how much indentation they would like to see. By using a literal space character, you are forcing your preference on others who read that code. Refreshing Braille displays used by blind programmers. Each space wastes one Braille cell and takes away valuable Braille real estate.
See, okay. At this point, I'm just going to refer back to my language, BS.
Yeah.
Where indents are two. So it uses two space indents, but if it's two spaces, it's two spaces. If it's four spaces, it's a tab with the tab width set to 4. And if there's an odd number of spaces, then it's a comment.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then just once you're finished watching this, go up to the top of the YouTube window, and in the search bar, just type worst programming language ever. And I should pop up with the version from NDC Oslo in 2021. Is probably the current thing. Although I am going to make Jacob let me redo that, and I am going to make the sound people mic the audience. Because
yes,
I swear to God, people do laugh. But there's comments on the YouTube video going, "What's wrong with the audience? Are they dead?"
I had the same thing with the talk I did in Porto last year, just because no mic on the audience, so you don't hear anybody laughing at anything.
Yeah.
And there's something about stand-up comedy or anything vaguely stand-up comedy adjacent without a laugh track that just makes you go, is this, am I laughing? Am I supposed to be laughing? Is that supposed to be a joke?
Yes. I wonder what that's like for hearing impaired people watching sort of stand-up.
There's a guy.
Titles.
There's a guy called David Eagle he's a stand-up comic and he's blind, and I heard him talking on Radio 4 about doing online comedy during lockdown. And he said, everyone else is complaining about the fact that they don't get laughter, they just get comments come up in the chat. But I have to use a screen reader for the chat. So when I tell a really good joke, it pauses for a couple of seconds and then a computer voice goes, ha, ha, ha.
Oh,
yeah.
I did a gig years when I was doing stand-up. I think it was paid. I think I was opening for somebody else, but it was at the Electric Ballroom in Guildford, which is a small theatre in Guildford. And it wasn't in the theatre bit. It was sort of set up in the corner of the lobby, and it was just like a row of seats and stuff. It was quite strange. And the compere introduced me, and the audience just sat and they listened. They were very polite, but they sat and they looked at me and they listened and everything for 20 minutes. And I was kind of like, I was trying everything. I was getting increasingly kind of like loud and stuff. And and I came off, and it was the interval, and I went up to the booker, the promoter who was running it, and I was like, "I'm really sorry. I promise you, everywhere else I do that set, it absolutely kills." And he went, "Oh no, they loved it. They don't laugh." And I'm just kind of like, you could have told me that before I went on. And then I stayed and I watched the guy who was headlining do his 40, and Guildford don't laugh. like more so than the worst Scandinavia. Which of the is it? Just the Norwegians who it's difficult to get a laugh out of, isn't it?
The Norwegians will laugh at the Swedes. The Swedes will laugh at the Danes.
Yes.
The Danes will laugh at the Swedes or the Finns or the
Yeah.
Germans.
But yes, so if anyone who's considering a career in stand-up, don't go to Guildford.
The thing that I learned over many years of doing events in those countries, there's a lot of countries where people will laugh. It's just nobody wants to laugh first in case nobody else laughs.
Yes.
Somebody needs to break the ice for the whole room, at which point it's fine.
You need a plant.
Yeah. I've done international events where obviously there are a lot of people in the audience who have also traveled to be there, but I've also done like corporate events where the audience is 99% people who live there, and the dynamic is very, very different.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is it now. We just sit and press enter every few minutes, and once we've automated that bit,
and I mean, you're literally going to get to a thing next week. Just as a sneak preview, come back next week when I will be showing Dylan how we can create skills, like semi-handcrafted skills, that tell Claude to use sub-agents to carry out different parts of the work, and to almost Ralph. So yeah.
Right. So this is the developer's done. Verification is the purple window, isn't it?
Yes.
OPSX verify is a QA thing. So, yes. Okay. So the developer has. How terse can I be with this? Phase 4 is done. Check it.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to say please, but I always say please because
I saw something saying you should say please.
I want Rocco's basilisk. Well, I figure if it's token prediction, saying please and thank you gets you into the bit of the trillion token database where the polite people wrote stuff.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah.
But just for the record, the tersest you can be is literally /OPSX:verify. You don't need to. It's worked out what you've said and decided that it means the same thing as that.
All right.
Let me read every touched file. Show me on the diff where the editor touched you. Sorry, that's an inappropriate joke.
Yes. Has someone text-to-speech this so that it's like listening to one of those radio DJs? Reading one file, Control O to expand, spinning, thinking, D project Claude video, gem, validate solution configuration. Hey, we're searching for one pen, read one file, 18 degrees, chance of rain later. Here's Bob with the sports.
That's literally my side project. Except it's not just doing that. Yeah. It's making it look like a raven is saying those things.
Okay.
Or a chicken. Or an owl. I mean, we've got raven, owl, pigeon, some form of seagull. There's an eagle. It's basically a bird pack that I bought from the Unity asset store.
You have to, the seagull has to be configurable so you can tell them how old it is. Because 2-year-old seagulls are much cuter than 4-year-old seagulls.
Oh, right. You mean in behavior terms or in the way they look?
Well, both. Okay. So juvenile seagulls are completely brown so that you can't... Basically, the seagull's problem is I must be invisible until I'm old enough to shag things, at which point I must be as visible as possible so that all the other seagulls know where I am. And so when
Yes.
they are juveniles, they're brown, and they hide. They can hide in sand and trees and foliage. And then as they get older, the brown feathering, so when they're 2 years old, they still have like a brown belly, but they got white wings. And then the third year, they've got like a brown collar and brown feathering around their chest and face. And then fourth year, they're completely white, and they look like the seagulls in picture books.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no.
But no, Canberra, where my folks live on the south coast, the prevailing wind there makes it wonderful for kite surfing and kite buggying and those kinds of things. But also the wind is so strong that the seagulls fly backwards, and sometimes they don't fly at all because they are flying forwards at the exact same speed as the wind is going in the opposite direction. And so the seagull is just there in midair, and you can sort of walk around and look at it in flight. And it's quite amazing.
Yes, it's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yes, I like Canberra.
And it confuses the hell out of them when they try to take off and they go backwards, because they weren't expecting that.
I used to go to the Pontins near Canberra.
Yeah, it is gone. It is now shut down.
It is, but they used to do weekenders, soul weekenders, rave weekenders, and it was literally you would turn up on Friday, and you had a chalet.
Yep.
If you needed it, which the soul weekenders they might have done. I don't know. The rave weekenders, we didn't need the chalets.
Done. Okay.
One warning to consider before archiving: the case sensitivity inconsistency in validate document is real, but affects only a non-default usage path hand-edited Pascal case JSON.
Blah. Certainly, sir. The relevant passage is the... We've prompted the QA engineer to be an English butler.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And by we...
This is like some weirdly over-engineered... Like, did we at any point say that there has to be a versioning strategy for show files?
Of course it does.
It doesn't.
That's implicit. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Do you not remember the story of the med file that was a file versioning problem?
What if I say here, run it? We'll run it. Do the right thing.
Yeah, no, it's run the build.
That's run the build, but it hasn't actually run the.
Yeah, it's run
the software.
Yeah, so I don't think it can do that.
Should be able to.
So just
because you see, it hasn't done anything.
Yeah,
it's all internal. There's no UI for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right.
Hooray, hurrah! We'll just have to take its word for it that it works. Then we can come back to it on Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. That's it. We're done. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
I'll see you in Malmö. And I'll see the rest of you at some point somewhere on the internet, probably. Yeah, next Tuesday, I suspect.
Yes, like and subscribe on whatever platform you're on, and then on whatever platform you're not on, go to that platform and like and subscribe there as well. And then go to Blue Sky and like and subscribe. I don't know.
I mean, we could cut the entire tedious process of like and subscribe and this and engagement. Send us money. Just send us a lot of money. Just
Yes.
like if people just sent us money, we wouldn't have to bother with like and subscribe and Blue Sky and social media and promotion and letting you know. We just do fun things all the time. But
just
yeah.
Sorry. I just want to pick up some of these chat things.
I haven't had the chat open for like hours.
No, it's so 07 Rain has clearly seen the worst programming language ever, because they've seen the bit about intercal and the error message, the developer is overly polite. And the Finnish person, do you use allow dangerously skip permissions? No, God, no, I don't, no. The only time when it's okay for Claude to just go hog wild and do whatever it wants to do is when you defer things up to the web side of stuff, or it's doing it in the sort of GitHub connected app or whatever else. And then Micro 500 has characterized my side project, which is going to revolutionize how humans interact with computers and with data, as they were recreating Bonsai Buddy. So thank you for that, Micro 500. I'm going to go and curl up into a ball somewhere and whimper for 5 minutes until I feel better. But kinda, actually, yes, I kinda am.
There was a thing for Windows 3.1, which was a little sheep that would walk around your desktop and would fall out of the top of the screen and land on top of a window and walk along the window and back and forth. Yeah. And I would occasionally get help desk calls going, "Yeah, computer's running really slowly. Can you come and look at it?" And it would be a 486 SX with Windows 3.1 and a I don't know, 8 megabytes of memory or something, running 15 copies of sheep.exe. Yeah. And I was like, do you think maybe you could not run the sheep if you want the computer to go fast? And they'd be like, no, I like the sheep.
I had something similar for Windows 95,
yeah,
except it was lemmings. And if they fell too far, they would splat. But if you could create a ridiculously complicated kind of screen full of windows and icons and everything else, and then click the thing up at the top that released the lemmings. And then there was a little door down on the side of the thing. They would walk along the taskbar and then go through the door.
So remind me which bit of this circus of monkeys does the git merge? That's the developer. The developer?
Yes. And so
so OPSX verify has been done by the QA.
It's been done. So now you can do OPSX archive.
That's been done.
Okay.
Because I think it's been done.
Archived.
Yeah, archived.
Yeah. So now you can just do commit.
Merge it.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Amazing.
Sweet. It should at least just note for the record that there is absolutely no discernible difference to today. We have accomplished nothing unless you read the code. The program that the human being can run and click on stuff is identical to... why have I got all this open spec stuff that hasn't been committed?
Don't know. I would, stage will just commit directly to main in direct violation.
the code was merged. All of the .NET C#
Yeah.
stuff was merged in. Yeah, cool. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week. Have fun.
Bye.